Good morning, guys. Hello again. Yes, it has been a minute. I feel like these videos are going to become further and far between because I'm a toddler mom and life has been going pretty dang crazy lately with swim lessons and everything. And my God, life is just on full speed right now. But for today's video, I have some Barnes & Noble story times for you. Basically, a lot of stuff has happened. If you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, you might have seen my reels or videos about this stuff, but I also wanted to get into detail about how to work with Barnes & Noble further in the video. I was getting a lot of questions about that, so that's what this video is about. Okay, so let's rewind it. Back in October 2024, I had redesigned the covers of my books, Hold the Foam and Sweet and Bitter, and I requested a copy through Barnes & Noble because I wanted to see what it looked like physically in person. And when the book came in the mail, it was the wrong book. I got Until Seattle instead of Hold the Foam. So I was like, okay, this isn't what I wanted. I called them, asked if I could return it in store. I didn't really know how it worked because I was self-published. They said, absolutely you can. So I went down to a Barnes & Noble location and I went in store and I asked them if I could return it, and then they'd never experienced anything like that. So they were calling their managers and then trying to figure out how to do this. And I wanted to reassure them that I did call ahead just to make sure that it was possible. That apparently a lot of self-published authors try to do stuff like this because of the result that I got, which I didn't know. I wasn't trying to pull a fast one or anything. But basically after I returned it, I was about to leave, but I wanted to ask because I just needed to know. I was like, hey, what are you going to do with that copy of the book? Are you just gonna send it back? And they were like, we're actually probably just gonna stick it on the shelf if you want to sign it, and then we'll put a little autograph sticker on it and put it on the shelf for you. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I guess that's why some self-published authors have tried to work the system and do it. I didn't know about that. So I was really excited. I took a bunch of pictures, videos. I posted a TikTok about it and I got 500,000 views and it got really popular. Like, wow, that's insane. And I was kind of joking with people about it too, because they were like, oh, write that down, that's a good hack or whatever. I'm like, oh, you know, haha. A couple people were like, you can't do that. And I'm like, guys, I'm not saying this is how to cheat the system. Anyway, so that happened, and that's kind of spurred my bravery. I feel like I really want to get into this. That's kind of spurred my bravery ever since that one thing. Like, all you have to do is ask. Like, the worst someone can say is no, and then it's no, and then you move on to the next. So basically I emailed them again and I was like, hey, I was just in there. I'd really like to maybe do like an author event if you guys are able to, whatever. They were booked out for the rest of the year, but they said to contact them in 2025. I was like doing some more research, and there is a way for self-published authors to try to get their books on a shelf at Barnes & Noble for a limited amount of time through consignment. And there's two ways that you can do this. You can just drop off your own stock, as long as it's like the Barnes & Noble ISBN personally, and work with the manager, or you can submit an email, like a whole pitch, to really try to get it approved and maybe do various locations. I'm not entirely sure because I didn't go that route, but I had a few in stock. So I tried to contact his Barnes & Noble location again, and I was saying, hey, would you be interested in stocking one of my books? It's perfect for this time of year. It's a cozy fall romance, blah, blah, blah. They said they didn't do it that time of year, so no, but again, contact them in 2025. So I was kind of like, that kind of sucks, you know, but that's not like a complete definitive no. But then I was looking at other Barnes & Noble locations, and they were the complete opposite. They were like instantly, yes, absolutely, let's meet up, bring like however many copies of your book you want to try to sell. They sent me the paperwork to print out, which is basically figuring out the pricing, agreeing to the terms of the contract that through like, I think it started November 1st, and then it was through February. I had to sell certain copies, and whatever I didn't sell by the end of that time, I would have to pick up that copy as well as any author fees that I made from selling books. And I think I sold all the books that I gave but one. So I brought home an extra copy as well as my little author check. And that's what I did. And then because they had to end it in February, they had their inventory done. So once the inventory was done, you're able to reach out and do it again. I've yet to do that. I really like location. They're very friendly and easy to work with. So I might be able to do that again. But I also did contact them about the author event because I'm like, hey, they told me yes, maybe I'll ask. And they said, again, this was like at the end of 2024, so it was kind of a difficult time. They said it's like their busiest time of the year is around the holidays, but they said that they were really trying to do like a local authors event, hopefully sometime in 2025, and asked if I would want to be a part of it. I said yes, absolutely. Like, that's one of my things that I'm most nervous about is to have an event, like actually be there with books. Hopefully someone is interested, and you know, you see all those videos of empaths just like watching people getting sad, and then that person's book becomes a bestseller because nobody's going up to the table. But one of the people I was working with most closely at that Barnes & Noble location had left. So, and now I feel like things are kind of up in the air. I don't know if they filled her position yet. So I don't know, but I'm still on that email list for a local authors event, but it just shows you all you have to do is to ask. Another thing that was really cool about this, and this is kind of outside of Barnes & Noble, but even then I did think it was kind of suspicious that one location said no, they couldn't, and the other location said yeah, they could. Apparently it varies by every location. Everything is different. I mean, that just shows you, like, oh, the worst they could say is no. And then once you get brave enough and ask and people start saying yes, you're like, you're not gonna stop asking. You're just gonna keep branching out and seeing what else you can do. And after that luck with Barnes & Noble in October, when I was able to get my book on the shelf, the misprint, was taking my daughter to the library all the time because of toddler story time and all that. And I have author business cards with a QR code that you can scan and like look me up and find my socials. And so I had asked someone, I know there's a bulletin board in the hallway. Is it okay if I put this up? I know I have to check, you know, whatever. And she was like, yeah, let me ask my manager, just make sure it's okay. So then I told her, I'm a self-published romance author. I'm just trying to bring more awareness to my books and network a little bit more, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, would you rather just have your books in the library instead? Yes, I would. Okay, queen, that's amazing, go off. I don't know how it is in different states, but in my state, I looked at the process and you basically have to drop a copy or two off, not at the library, but at this, I forgot what city building it is. They basically read it and then get back to you as to whether or not it is something that they will carry or not. And the annoying part that I don't like is that you never get your book back regardless. So I'm kind of like, I'm trying to have books on hand for Barnes & Noble or like other vendors, you know, in case I get lucky again. So I haven't pursued that. I haven't pursued the library, even though that would be amazing. The only thing that holding you back is just kind of being scared of rejection. Maybe I should be including links. I'll include links too down below for Barnes & Noble, but just like links, I guess, to how to find these things if you want to try to do that. But yeah, and then I guess the last thing I want to say, or write off on this video, is that my books are available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, but I also have most of my titles on IngramSpark. And if you don't know what IngramSpark is, it's like basically another publishing company, but it's for wholesale. So say if you strike up a deal with Target or like an indie bookstore, that is typically where they would buy your books at wholesale to stock them in store. So it's important to set that up. I will say that make sure everything is finalized in the way you want it, because they recently updated it now to, if you want to make any changes, it costs money, which really sucks. That's my advice for that. Make sure that if you are trying to get your books into other places, make sure that your books are also listed on IngramSpark. I'll link that down in the description box below. But that is it for today's video. I have so many video ideas. It is just very hard to sit down and make a video with a toddler, especially, and like nap time and quietness, because if she were awake right now, you wouldn't hear a thing I was saying. But thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to check out the links down in the description box. As always, you're free to check out my books on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And I can't wait to update you guys with other things. I will see you in the next one. Bye.